Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to session some kind of bonus content for Whispers of the Dice, Terrador's Trespass, Shattered Alliance. This should be a bonus episode that goes in between, I don't know, what is it, 35 and 36 or something? Whatever. Um, but this would be right after everything happened at Azai's mansion. Everybody's just gotten back to Azai's mansion, got settled in, and Kiana's birthday happened. And this is happening. This will be watched right after that session, but it takes place before. I'm not actually in this session. I'm just here to do the intro and the outro. But Jesse is here playing Kiana or Hugh. And Brooks will actually be DMing it. So he'll be stepping in again to DM in Orinica. So have fun, guys.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we pan in on Hugh and get to spend some time with him, we begin by following Cermet, who after a long day of going and doing political meetings, and trying to just be the best ambassador between the dry and the wetlands in Abysalia, he goes home towards his palace and quickly realizes that the path to get to the palace is significantly longer than it used to be. You can see he's pacing a little bit on the path, thinking to himself, maybe it's just been a stressful day. But after about 2 minutes of walking towards where the palace was, he begins to speak to himself. I sent them out together. And there's so much in their hands. But they just weren't ready. It's got to be Hugh's fault. And we move in towards a boat with waves that you know, the patterns being more familiar as you close in on Abysalia. Hugh, as you've been on this journey back home for the first time on your own, getting to live a life that doesn't have you being recognized as someone who you're pretending to be. What are your thoughts on what stepping in Abysalia for the first time as Hugh is going to play out as?
I think with Hugh, there is a intense amount of hesitation, second guessing himself. Am I doing the right thing? Was it smart to leave Kiana to go talk to Daddy? And as he I like to imagine he didn't willingly buy a ticket for this boat. Like, he probably ditched all of his cleric robes and got some kind of merchant robes just to, blend in a little bit, maybe as a disguised halfling or something. So that way he could, because the only other grung in Varanth is Kiana, so he doesn't want people thinking that Kiana is just ditching the envoy. So But he knows that once he gets to Abyssalia, where there's more grungs, then he can be kind of more freeing and open to himself. Just because there's other grungs and he can blend in perfectly. But in the meantime, it's just a lot of anxieties of like second guessing himself. And he's hopes that he's not a fool. He remembers the last conversation that he had with Saramit did not go well. So he's not expecting a warm welcome. He's not expecting he never had a warm welcome to begin with. So he's just expecting what Daddy's always been to him.
What is the motivation that is keeping you moving towards this conversation, even throughout the doubt?
A hope for a better future for not only Hugh and Kiana and all of the Huld family, but his motivation is ultimately there has to be a better way. This one-child policy has been traumatic for so many people, so many grung families, including his. And he does have a slight bit of hope that if he could just get through to Saramit, then maybe real change can start to happen. And there wouldn't be a need for any of this anymore.
So as you've had weeks to ponder this back and forth battle on the waves, the ups and downs of emotions following with the boat, we're coming to the end of your journey where the thoughts, second thoughts, so on and so forth, are beginning to have to face the reality that they're going to be pushed out, and one idea will take action for you. As the possible seasickness, most likely emotional turmoil, rises as the waves start to steady, getting you closer to land. You can see your home, Abyssalia, for the first time since you've left. As you pull in on your ship, there's a variety of people, different nations, who are here to enjoy the tourism that you are greeted face first with. Now, how much interaction did you have with this facade of Abyssalia growing up?
Nothing of his own. It's all been through Kiana, and he was essentially forced to always say words that weren't his own, behave certain behaviors, and do certain actions that weren't his own, all to save face. So he's had multiple interactions, like actual interactions, but not where he could be comfortable in his own slimy skin.
As you step off the boat, you notice that the facade that you were forced into as playing a part of Kiana is alive and well in those who are responsible for the face of tourism, of greeting the people who are coming off the boat, who are very clearly not from Abyssinia. But whatever the reaction for Hugh is, whether that's a little bit of relief or joy or discontentment that your people aren't welcoming you, they can tell that you belong here, that you know what's going on. And for every street vendor selling wares, for every performer trying to make someone stepping off the boat feel welcome, that is grabbing the attention of those to the left and right of you, you find yourself in an ever-thinning herd that's moving further and further down the beach, untouched. The closest that you get is a glance of realism in the faces of those who are putting on this facade for those around you, before the mask goes back on to someone who's inevitably taller than you, around you. And you've made your way through the major portion of the entrance of the beach without having a single interaction with a member from your home nation. Where does Hugh go from here? What is he looking for? What's he doing?
I think in this moment, I see like kind of follows the crowd, and essentially probably everyone's probably towering over him for the most part. He eventually loses like the cloak that he was wearing, and he's just wearing commoner's clothes underneath. And he's embracing the full grung look, because he knows that there's tons of grungs that look just like him, so like no one would really know. And I would say he would humor himself. He would maybe go to a vendor or two, or a street performer, or whatever that might be, just to get a taste of what it's like as a commoner of Abyssinia for the very first time. So he might like step away from the crowd a little bit to like see what people are selling, not interested in buying anything, just to see what other people see.
So as you step up to a vendor, you're able to make your way around the legs of some of these people who have stepped off the boat with you, and make your way to the front, see what wares are being very clearly displayed on the table that is in front of you. And you notice that some of the people who are here are showing up on their own volition. Others, there are people working for the stand that are responsible for, sort of escorting people in, taking them friendly by the arm, trying to greet them with a little piece of Abyssinia that they'll be able to take home with them. But you've made your way unnoticed, and you can tell that it's not by your height, because every once in a while the vendor is glancing down at you, the sea elf, and he's doing the salesman act of pointing out what things might fall into his customers' tastes, things that would look good on them, that they could take home. And he's interacting with everybody but you. He's not necessarily closed off to your presence, but there's definitely no outreach of trying to sell you something. What would you like to do?
What kind of things is he selling?
There's a lot of jewelry. There's also things that are very clearly meant to be displayed somewhere in a home. Nothing huge. Small things that you might put in an entryway or by a hearth. Things that very much scream, this came from Abyssinia. You've got a lot of pearls incorporated in things. You've got shells. There's a lot of carvings within the bigger display pieces, but for the most part, the things that are in front of you and accessible that you can grab and look at and try on, that's going to be the smaller pieces of jewelry towards the front.
I got you. Yeah, he's just kind of looking around at like this touristy, essentially the Mickey Mouse ears, essential, at the Disney World. He's like kind of looking around, picking up a few of the jewels. I'm looking at like a few amulets or something like that. And can I do some sort of check to like see the quality of these products?
Absolutely. Here. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Oh gosh, that is a 5.
Did you say 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you've picked up the pearls, you know that there's some sort of trick that you are supposed to do to be able to discern whether or not this is a quality pearl or not. But you've never had to use that for yourself. Being a part of the royal family, anytime that there was any sort of Abyssalian jewelry, it was legitimate. And as far as you can tell, this at least looks like that same quality. Whether or not it'll hold up in 10 years, whether or not it'll hold up on the ride home, you can't discern that. And you're realizing that there is a possible disconnect between what you've experienced in the palace and what the people down on the beach, even trying to put up the facade, might be going through.
I think with that, he grabs some sort of like I want to say necklace, but I'm picturing like some sort of like jewel or like pearl like thing, just to like keep on him, like in his pocket or kind of thing. And he like looks at the sea elf, and let's say he picks up just a single like multicolored pearl. He's just like, excuse me, how much for this little trinket here?
Oh, yes, it's a gold.
Oh, just one.
You can tell that his salesman voice drops when he talks to you, but it's no disdain, just earnestness. Yeah, just gold.
Okay.
It's a charm. It's nice to keep on you. For these folks, it's something to remember. But for you, I don't know. Maybe it'll bring you luck.
Do you have anything that would be, I don't know, some kind of connection to, say, the Kraken, or like any kind of thing? Not so much connection, but something that might resemble it, or like, I don't know, just kind of like the equivalent of like a cross necklace for us. But
I do, but you'll have to give me a moment. You see, he signals one of the people that were grabbing people by the arm and moving them towards a stand, and he swaps out with them, and they begin doing the salesman tactic with the people that are already there. and he motions you to come behind the stand. He turns his back to the crowd, and he goes, we don't have a lot of genuine things that are connected to the Kraken, but we do like to, spread the news. The Kraken is to be revered in our own way. We have what's supposed to be a Kraken tooth, not from the Kraken. But to be honest, I don't know where they get them. It's as close as I can get you, but not to be rude, based off what you're wearing, I don't think you'll be able to get anything genuine Kraken related. So if all you're looking for is the connection, this gives it to them. Maybe it'll give it to you.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't looking for like a way to talk to him or anything like that. I was just maybe something for my own, keepsake, for a reminder of some sort. But I mean, yeah, Kraken tooth sounds okay. Sure, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, we deal in reminders. That's what we do. You give us money, and we give you something that you can remember. So, how much do you have on you? Let me ask.
Well, that's a good question. Joe, do you know if our allowance stopped after a while?
You should still have. Well, I gambled away all of my pocket money. That would depend on you personally. Remember to cut this out. That would
for sure. Yeah.
depend on you personally, how much he would still have. But I had 1,000 before I went into hell.
I got you. I think, because I don't have a specific number on my sheet. I'd like to think that Hugh left, and I'm cutting this out too. I like to think that Hugh left Lyco with the finances for the most part. So he probably has no more than like 5 or 6 gold on him.
Okay. Is that where you're gonna tell the vendor?
Yeah. So editor, he looks at him. He's like, "Oh, I mean, I have about, hold on. All I got is 5 gold."
To be quite honest with you, that's more than I thought you'd have on you. Are you not from the inner jungle?
Yeah, you sure? I mean, you could say that.
You know what? If I don't want to get into anything, if that's what's going on here, but even if it's not, just the fact that you're genuinely here for the Kraken, just take the tooth.
Oh, surely I can pay for something.
No, it's okay. Can you go ahead and roll me a perception check?
I like rolling dice. That is going to be perception. 14.
14. Okay. With that, you've noticed the corners of his mouth have dropped a little bit. There was the facade that brought the corners up that he had for all of the tourists. With you, it was flat. All of a sudden, there's this slight downturn, and there's a bit of nervousness about him. Something about you having more than a couple gold on you, and him not being able to place you from the inner Grung colony has him nervous. You're not entirely sure why with the 14, but you've grasped that there's something about the amount of coin that you have that's heavily playing a part in this nervousness. You can take it. I don't want to get into anything. It's okay.
Oh, I mean, but please, I mean, I can tell that you're, worried about it a little bit. I mean, I don't want you to get in trouble with your boss or whoever you work for. Here, at least this, and he puts down 2 gold onto the platform.
Listen, my name is Hux. Okay, I run this stand with a couple of my friends. We've been doing it for years. I'm not gonna get in trouble with anybody here, but I'd rather get on the good graces of whoever, whether that's the Kraken or someone else. So you take this, you take the tooth, and you just remember Hux.
I will, Hux. Thank you for your generosity. It will not go unnoticed.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping. Now, you have a good day. You enjoy that tooth. If it falls apart, it's hopefully you're around that I can give you another one. But don't say I never said it wouldn't. Okay.
If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Hey, that's my mentality too. You have a good day.
Take care, Hux. He
Well,
and turns around and walks into whatever direction, and every probably 10 or 15 feet he does do a little turn around just to see if he's still there, or because he did notice that he was pretty nervous.
with that, give me a perception check with advantage.
That is going to be a 18.
18. Okay. After first or second time of you checking over your shoulder, you notice that as the crowd is thinning out, there are a couple more grung in the area. And they're not really moving about the crowd so much. And they definitely don't seem to be a part of the chauffeuring of the tourists. But they're not your typical surveillance people that you would expect, that you've heard of the government sending out. They look a little more rustic than that. And as you continue checking back over your shoulder every once in a while, you can almost swear that you're catching them turning away every time that you look over your shoulder, as if maybe they had been looking your direction.
I think at that point, I maneuver my way back into the crowd and kind of follow the crowd for a little bit and trying to make my way to the essentially what I came here for, to talk to Daddy. So in that general direction to Palace.
Cool.
As far as the crowd will take me.
Yeah. So you make your way from one end of the beach to the other, following that crowd as best you can, staying towards the middle, trying to use your height for the advantage of, slipping in and blending in. When you end up at the end of the beach and the facade starts to fade, there's no show going on trying to convince anybody of anything. you're left on your own, and it's quite abrupt. There's a line of people that you cross, and it's just sand. Not a long stretch of beach that's in front of you by any means. It comes towards a pretty pointed end, but there's a good, quarter mile of sand before you come to the ocean. Towards going inland at the end of this, you recognize an area of the jungle that can take you towards the palace, from what you remember. And this specific area of the beach towards the water, you know how to go from here towards the aquatic area of Abyssalia. So you've got a general bearing. None of it's too familiar, but roughly where you are.
Gotcha. I think I'll start heading inland to go towards the palace, but I don't feel quite right with the occasional potential rung watchers that I had on my tail. So whenever I find a window where I'm possibly not being watched, or try to do it sneakily, I jump into a tree, climb up a little bit, and I want to jump from tree to tree, essentially.
Okay. So as you make your way unorthodoxly
Right.
towards the palace, you notice that it's quite helpful to be at this height, because as you're moving further and further inland, you come across the edges of a grung colony. And whenever you look down towards the streets, you notice a different type of surveillance that's going on. One that's more intentionally placed, more conspicuous, a presence, even on the outer edge. People, probably from the government, who are keeping an eye on things. None of them seem to notice you being so high in the trees. That's not where their gaze is. All of them are looking inward towards the colony. But have you had any interaction with the common folk who live in the jungle? Or is this your first experience?
I would say probably this is Hugh's first experience, because any time that we would have came to the jungle, to a village such as this, would be to like for PR reasons kind of thing,
Yeah.
at Daddy's side, let Ceriment do all the talking, kind of just be a face. But normally he probably would have let Kiana be the face of that one. So you, not so much.
So with that being your first personal impression of the common folk, I think Hugh pays a little bit more attention whenever he's getting these glimpses. And there's some things that you gather. The surveillance that's here doesn't seem entirely black and white oppressive. The air about the people who are keeping a watch over the colony is not one of superiority. There's not a common air between them of a show of power. In fact, on the fourth or fifth viewing from the trees, you notice a group of young grung children who are playing in the street. And there's a mom with one of her youngest children who's walking her kid by the hand, leading this child up to one of the people that are watching over the colony. And the child hands this watcher some sort of baked good. It's a small amount of food, even in the hands of a young grung, but it's a gesture that you can see is heartfelt and that is taken warmly.
So it was
With that, you
food given to the little child, right? Is that what you said?
from the little child.
From the little child too. Okay.
Yeah. You can gather pretty quickly that this is a gesture that the mom wanted to give. This is a teaching moment. So there's clearly something that the mom wants her child to know about the Watchers, whether that's gratitude or some other feeling. You're not sure, but it seems heartfelt. Seems like it's taken genuinely, at least from your very distant vantage point.
I think if he can, he's gonna slowly climb down from one of the tree that he's in and try to find, if at all possible, any kind of opening to the village that's not heavily guarded to try and sneak his way through.
Okay. So give me another perception check. We're doing a lot of those today.
I know.
Trying to look for where there's an opening, where there might be less surveillance, maybe someone distracted.
14.
14. Okay. With that, you can see a couple of possible entrances. There is one alley between houses. It should be noted that there's not walls around this colony. It's very much a clearing in the jungle that houses stop at the edge of. There's not too much effort to clear trees and vegetation out beyond a few feet from the back of the border houses. So most of the entrances that you're seeing are alleys between these tightly packed homes, these small little shacks that are placed very close together. There's one larger alley that has a watcher who's sitting down facing inward towards the rest of the colony. There's another one where a watcher has stepped a couple feet out of the alley because they seem to be preoccupied watching some grung children play. It seems like they're being rather attentive towards these children. And there's one other alley that you are pegging as a possible way to go through. There's two watchers here, but it seems that they're engrossed in conversation.
I think I'm gonna go for the alleyway where the guards were slightly distracted from the kids playing. Trying to... There's a thing I can do. I'm just gonna wait for a moment. I'm assuming they're like playing ball or some kind of thing. Gonna wait until the ball like rolls outside of the kids group, like one kid kicked it too far or something like that, to where they have to, even the kids are like focused on where the ball is going and then go specifically in that other direction where the ball went.
So you're sitting at the edge of this shack. You have the slightest view of these kids from around the corner. And it's not too long, 4 or 5 minutes, before what you're hoping for does happen. They're young children, not very coordinated. And even though there's a lot of them, there's one kick that goes clearly further than the kid who kicked it thought they could kick. And the rest of them didn't form a big enough wall to stop that ball. So they all move towards the edge of the jungle. And with that, the Watcher takes a few steps towards them, almost out of concern. And you're able to slip in without him noticing. Now, for how long you'll be able to walk about this colony without being noticed as an outsider, you're not quite sure. That's just another one of those anxious thoughts that are mixed in, that are kind of plaguing your mind before you have your first conversation with your father. It's just added to that list. But you're now in the colony.
Yeah, I think he gets, like, because he's mainly concerned about getting outside of the view from the guards coming in. But once he's in, he completely just like, oof, dusts himself off, walks among the people in the streets just like he belongs there. Assuming I'm wearing similar clothes to. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got these at Varanth, so maybe not. But commoners' clothes, cheaply made. Yeah, I'm just kind of wanting to know, because this area does not sound familiar to me. When we talked about Abyssinian history and all of the little colonies that we have, this does not ring any kind of bell. So I'm wanting to get a better understanding of like, what did I stumble upon? Yeah. So I'm just kind of like walking around trying to listen to see if I could maybe even like going to the other like within hearing distance of those two guards that were talking, and just kind of listening to see, like, to get a better grasp of what this is.
Good. So as you do your best to attempt to blend in, you're instinctively facing away from where the Watchers would be looking, kind of keeping your back toward them. But you notice in the faces of those who are out on their porches and in the street, which tends to be almost every house, there's quiet looks on the faces of these Grung, a recognition that you are not from this street. How far that recognition goes is unclear, but they are certainly aware of your presence and aware that you are not from at least the immediate area. And yet there's no signaling for the Watchers. There's no conversation amongst anybody that you're hearing about you. There's almost an intention of continuing to have whatever conversation was happening before they saw you, intentionally trying to keep that up. So that little piece of the puzzle is quickly become a dead end, and you find yourself moving towards the two guards that were having a conversation, the two Watchers. As you get closer, you're able to notice from the peripheral that this is a sea elf and a Grung. They're talking amongst themselves. You're able to gather from the point of the conversation that you joined in on that this is some sort of shift change that's running a little bit long. So the sea elf is talking to the Grung. It's just, I think it's quite beautiful what they're doing. I guess you'll get to see it soon. I'm taking the outer edge here, but you'll move closer to where I was posted. If they're still doing it though, I think it's a wonderful gesture. There's not a lot known about what's going on. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm excited to see it for myself. I wish I was off duty so I could join in, but I think it's real sweet what that group is doing for the princess. Trying to get the attention. Trying to make a difference. Even from here, it's sweet. But I'll go head over there now. It's been good getting to talk to you. If the kids end up coming this way, just make sure that you don't let any of them get into the jungle. Nadine has been a handful. That little one keeps trying to sneak past us and get into there, but you've got a good vantage point from there. You'll be good. And with that, the Grung heads towards the entrance to this street that leads further in to the colony. That's where you're able to overhear.
I think he just kind of sits to himself, and just kind of trying his best to put these puzzle pieces together, but he doesn't even know what puzzle he's trying to build. And he's just something for the princess. Okay, well, Daddy didn't tell us of anything that doing recently. Okay, well, and he goes off into the main street area, and he'll just find the first person that he comes across, preferably another first Grung that he comes across. And he kind of walks up to him and he says hey, I was just assigned to help out with the event for the princess, and I'm not really sure. They didn't really give me any directions of where to go, and I'm kind of lost here. But do you know where they're hosting this event?
Yeah, you must be from out of the jungle then, huh? If you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, they just kind of sent me on my way without really giving any detail.
Yeah, don't worry. The director of the clinic, she's got a good thing going at the center of town. Okay, I think that if you go there towards the center, I just came from there. I had to head home. You'll notice that the streets start to get a little quieter. Then that's how you know you're headed in the right direction. Almost everybody from the center of the colony is there right now. Just head down this street, okay? You're gonna take a right. First left you can get. It's almost a straight shot to the center of the colony. Okay. You just head on down there and listen. Hey, I get it. I appreciate your help working with the clinic and all, but I wish there was more of you in the better off position that would take some trips up to this clinic. You know, we don't get a lot of fresh faces at this one. But I hear that there's a lot of rotations, a lot of visitors going in and out. But the other ones, I know you're aware. You know, you're the one inside it all, but I don't know. Just try to get them to come up here a little more. Okay, I gotta get home.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything like particular that you guys are having a massive influx in for your guys' clinic down here, or that we can help out specifically with?
No, it's just the norm. You know, it's difficult to raise young in an environment that I don't want to complain. You know, the palace has done a lot, keeping us safe. You know, but you know, down towards the better off areas, even though there's not as many people who need it, they've got food clinics and stuff down there. You know, food banks. They keep them nourished and fed and whatnot, but up here we gotta scrounge everything left just to keep the kiddos growing, and you know, it's not too many mouths to feed, and yet it's still a little difficult. So no, just helping out with the inevitable difficulties of the malnutrition. You know, that's what the director is always talking about. It's not ideal, but it's listen, we're just glad you're here. Okay.
I'm glad I could help, even, you know, in this situation now. Yeah, I'll try to put in a good word and see what I can do to hopefully make some change. Thank you for being so vocal about it and addressing this.
Yeah, of course. Also, I don't know, maybe this is personal opinion, but you know, up here when the clinic people come up, it's pretty obvious that they're from the clinic. You know, they wear the crack and stuff and all. But I guess down in the better off areas, y'all don't do that. Maybe you should do that. I can tell you're not from here, but I had no idea that you were helping out. I guess it makes sense though.
Yeah, I'm new, and they say you gotta earn specific attire, and I'm still in the beginning ranks. So once I can move my way up, then I'll inevitably get my Kraken blessed attire. But for now, I'm just it's almost like I'm doing volunteer work at this point. But yeah, I'll
you know, that is fascinating. I hope that you at least have a connection to the Kraken. Otherwise, there's no point in you being here.
Right. No, yeah. Definitely have a connection. That's for sure.
Good. Go put in a good word for the princess, and you know, maybe I'll see if you take my advice. Have a good one.
And he heads off to the direction that he was pointed to and heads to the clinic.
Cool. So, as you're heading down these streets, you do notice that they get significantly more empty. There's still the watchers, but there's no citizens out and about like there was on the edge. You're plodding down this dirt road, and it's strange. In the jungle that you were in, when there was vegetation and all that, it was moist. It felt good to your skin to be where you were. It felt almost natural for a grown. But as you're moving further and further in, you're noticing that the ground is getting drier and drier. The dust that's kicking up from just your feet alone is starting to irritate your throat, dry out your skin a little bit. And you find it strange that, you know, specifically for Grung, that there would be an area they're living in with all these tracks that's somehow been pulled. The moisture's been pulled from it, you know, just by the sheer nature of having so many people packed into one area. But you make your way down the street, down that dirt path, and you begin to see these crowds of people who are all looking towards different members dressed in Krakenly attire, just speaking in hushed voices. And those in the Krakenly attire are seemingly taking those voices, those things that they're hearing, and praying. And you notice as you come up, there's someone on the outskirts here, going from little pod of people to little pod of people, making their way generally towards you. And as you continue to observe, you see there's a lot of watchers here. Once again, they're not in the position that you would expect from somebody who gives off an air of superiority. They all seem quite content with what's going on. But as this moving figure is getting closer and closer, you're noticing a couple things. This is a grung, but it's a slightly taller grung, about 3 foot. They're looking over the heads of some of these people. And from the edges of her cloak, you can see there's patterns on the grung skin. Beautiful tattoos that are just peeking out the edges, even up the collar, surrounding the face, moving down the hands. This person is talking what seems like intimately, but quickly, with both people from the community and those in the Krakenly attire. And you seem to have caught their eye. They finish up with one group and start moving towards you. They're still about 60, 70 feet away. Hugh, what are you thinking? What are you doing?
I pull off the exact same move whenever I was looking back and they were looking the other way. I go like, oh, and just like try to like blend in as much as possible to the crowd. Like, oh yeah, I have needs that need met too. Man, it's dry out here. You know, like just yeah.
So, you pull your way into a nearby group, and you begin voicing some needs haphazardly, very quickly, to try to fit in. And the sea elf that's there, taking these voices in, goes, no, we're not taking requests. We're petitioning towards the Kraken to show favor towards the princess. Did you not get the memo?
No, I sorry. I'm not originally from this area. I was actually following my group, and I kind of got lost. They didn't really fill me in of where we were going, but and I just kind of stumbled my way up in here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean that sounds like a great What's going on with the princess?
Yeah. Well, she's been out doing things that bring the Kraken and Abyssalia as a nation some recognition, some glory, but we haven't heard any news about her recently, and between you and me, there's been some talk about Palace, whether or not I don't know. I don't want to say too much as the sea elf starts to stammer over their own words. You feel a hand on your shoulder, and as you look at it, you see elaborate tattoos. It's just a resting presence there.
Turn around. Hey, can I help you?
Hi. Yes. So I haven't seen you around, and I'm gathering from faces around that maybe others haven't as well. Would you like to step off to the side with me? Let them petition towards the Kraken. I would like to have a word with you, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Did I do anything wrong? I was just telling this guy that I originally came with and he starts like repeating the exact same story. I came with another group and I got lost. I didn't really tell me where we're going, and did I do anything wrong? Like,
hey, no, nothing wrong, nothing wrong. And listen, you're gonna follow me, okay? And we'll have a little chat. But whatever you do, don't look at the Watchers, okay?
Immediately,
you see that she
like looks at one of the Watchers.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Turns your face just slightly.
You say don't look at something, it immediately makes me want to look at something. It's just like a common. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how I know that you're definitely not from here. She gives a signal to one of the Krakenly attendants, and you can tell that she's casting some sort of spell, probably message, based off the concentration that she has and the response from the attendant. So yeah, you're not from here. You didn't deny it, so that means that I was on the money. I always love it when I peg somebody on something and they just give in right away. So it's so nice. But yeah, what brings you to the princess's celebration here that we're trying to talk to the Kraken for if you're not from the colony?
Oh, well, I was just, like I said, going along with my party, and they didn't really give me any reason of why we were coming here. I'm kind of the black sheep of the group. They often don't really. I don't think they even see me half the time. It's like I don't know, like hiding behind another face. It's half the time. They just kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, they didn't really tell me anything. They just kind of drug me along, or maybe I just followed too long, and they brought me here, and I'm just trying to see what all the fuss is about, and yeah, we're blessing the princess, huh?
Yeah. As you get towards the end of your explanation of why you're here,
Right, really badly.
yeah, the face that has been looking around at the different people, checking in every once in a while, still assuring you that she's listening, really lingers on you for the first time. And you notice that the features of this grung are relatively appealing, but the tattoos really are just stunning. Beautiful colors, swirling patterns. Nothing discernible when you first look at them, but as that face holds for a second, it almost starts to remind you of the way the ocean swirls. And the colors in the peripheral of the vision have almost a optical illusion type effects that make it look like they are swirling in currents that are very natural to you. Go ahead and roll me a deception check with disadvantage, please.
That's about right. Yep. Deception. So funny. 12.
12. So that face rests on you. She goes, yeah. Black sheep of the group. Sure. Just one moment. And the attendant that she had called for comes up with a spare set of robes. She takes them, talks very, very gently with this person, and sends them off. Listen, I think at this point I'm your best bet of, getting around here without getting noticed by the wrong people. I think you should put these on if we're gonna keep talking, and if you wanna, stay as part of the crowd or whatever you were doing when you showed up at the edge.
The wrong people.
Just anybody who would, put a damper on your mood. The wrong people is always based off the wrong time and the wrong desires. In this case, it's just those that watch over, And there's nothing wrong with them, A lot of the grungs I know personally grew up together, and they're very sweet when they watch over us. But they are here on duty, and they're trying to keep the peace. And you, my friend, are distracting. So put those on, and you work for the clinic now, if anybody asks. And that would be my suggestion. You don't have to follow it, but I'm quite recognizable, and if you've been looking over my shoulder, you might notice one or two of the watchers are keeping an eye on us already. It just kind of follows me wherever I go.
I got you.
Being the director and all,
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And he takes the robes. Yeah. Let me just put these on real quick. This might not work. The headphones. All right, editor Jesse, do your magic.
Come on. It was nice and smooth.
Yeah. It was the headphones. Sure. Talk about. I'm the one that's. Hey, I got a question.
Of course.
You said that I'm kind of distracting a little bit, but I don't recall very many grungs in my lifetime ever having tattoos like that. So, what's the story about that? I mean, and they look good. Don't get me wrong; it looks really good, and it's like really flattering, and brings out your eyes a little bit. But sorry, what's the story on those?
Well, first off, thank you. I get that reaction a lot, but it's always nice to hear. there's no real story to it. It's just self-expression. There's a certain air that comes from being in Navasalia, or maybe you don't. I don't really have a way to place you just yet, but keep talking. I'll figure it out. That just makes you feel like you want to be seen for the right reasons. This is one of those reasons.
Well, I mean, you're definitely seen. All right. So what can what would I do now? I put on the clothes.
Well, we keep walking. Every once in a while, you stand there nicely as I talk to some of these people from the colony. And you be nice to them, because I grew up with a lot of them.
Okay.
And then I ask you questions. And if at the end your questions bore me, and your answers are unsatisfying, then I've done you a favor, given you a reason to be here. One that seems more legitimate than whatever it is you were trying to parade when I you up. And if your answers are interesting, if your questions aren't dull, then I don't know, we'll have to see where the two of us end up. First question for you, though. And then if you've got one, you can fire back. It's always a little bit of a volley back and forth. How I like to go about things. Why a grung colony? Is it just because you could fit in? I mean, nobody moves here.
I mean, I guess you could say it's to fit in. I mean, what's wrong with embracing one's true culture than going into a colony?
So, you're not from underwater. You're not from the upper classes, because you were just upper class, normal upper class. Then you wouldn't see the colony as one's true culture. So I'm piecing together a little bit more, but that still raises questions. Like, why? Why lie about why you'd come here, especially one so obvious? And yet seem so sincere about wanting to be around these people. Little nervous. Does that hit home?
You are intimidating.
I get told that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sorry that I maybe, I've stretched the truth in the beginning. I just, I'm sure it's just, you never know who you can trust, especially on Abyssalian ground. You're right, I'm not from here. I'm not from this colony, nor any local colonies. He kind of looks around his shoulder a little bit. Actually, from the swamplands of Abyssalia, and recently I've just had some personal family issues going on with that, and I chose to run from them, and instead of hitting them head on, but trying to turn a new leaf.
Well, I don't buy all of it, but the family bit I do. Sorry to hear about whatever it is that drove you from wherever you're from and brought you here. But you caught us at a good time. As you guys can continue moving through the crowd, you've almost made your way around the whole edge, checking in briefly with different pods of people, and she started to move you in towards the center where there's a stage set up. Listen, I'll be a little honest with you, just a little, since that's all you're being with me. I'm interested in what's outside of Abyssalia. And I think you might know something about that. The reason that I put on all of these princess appreciations where we're trying to gather the attention of the Kraken is I really admire when the princess helped found these clinics. It was truly inspiring. And since her absence, I've been in the upper rooms, so to speak, of the clinic, but I'm looking to hand it off. And there's good hands to hand it off to, because I want to follow in the footsteps of the princess, so to speak. Going out, making real change in the world, letting people know that Abyssalia is not full of people that only want to do good in Abyssalia. It's something that the princess is starting to make a way for, and that's why we need the Kraken to ensure her safety. But if she starts something like this, and I can help make it even a little bit bigger, a little bit more inviting for the next Grung to do the same, for the next CF to do the same, then maybe something could change. But that's with a little bit of honesty. Now, for the reason why I picked you out, I mentioned that I think you know something about being outside of Abyssalia. I want to know, what is it like?
It's everything you could ever dream of it being. It's all of the exciting, unexpected turns that life takes. But it's also a unforgiving test. Try to find who you truly are. There are good people that I've come cross paths with, but there's also really bad people. Sometimes those really bad people that you come across are a lot closer than what you think. When you said change, what do you mean?
Well, I'm assuming you've seen the beach. Yeah, the tourist attraction. I don't even know why we bring them in, to be honest. We try to sell them on something that everyone in power deeply likes. The idea that we want to welcome in others. It's strange. And this is how I know that you're not from the lower class here, and you're not from the upper class here. Because Abyssalia is something that is an unforgiving test, filled with good people and very, very bad people that are very close. So if that's true, then I think I can go out and handle myself. And that's good news.
Yeah. I mean, I never said that you couldn't. But it's definitely an eye-opener. I'm sorry. We've been talking for quite some time. What was your name?
I'm Liana. You've got somewhere you want to go, don't you?
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What do you mean her name's Leon?
That's the name I wrote down. I like Liana as a name.
Yeah. Nice.
What?
It rhymes with Kiana?
No. Subconsciously. Subconsciously, that's probably why I wrote that down.
Every female grung in Abyssalia rhymes with Anna in some way or fashion.
Tiana, Anna.
Oh, shoot.
Sonia.
Sonia. Oh, that's funny.
I'm just adding to the grung culture here.
Right,
okay?
For sure. Yeah. I do have to see a few people. You gonna try and pry that out of me too, or yeah, gonna point me in the direction to the upper portion?
Now, I don't think I'll pry it out of you. I think I'll stick around long enough to find out. Because I don't think you know the ins and outs of getting to where you're trying to go. I can guess that. And I can get you there in a way that is less suspicious. And as an added benefit, I get to have some fun, figure out what you're doing. Something about you intrigues me. I don't know what it is. She motions. At this point, you've made your way towards the very center of the gathering. She motions towards an attendant, whispers in close, very obviously handing off reins of the event. And she takes you out of the crowd of people. Says, "Okay, where are you trying to go?"
I'm needing to talk with Tesserment.
Oh, okay. Now you're intriguing me more, but that's perfect. I can get you to Tesserment. ever since, Princess stepped down from the clinic and moved on towards the envoy, we've had discussions with Salmon. You wouldn't happen to be, I don't know, connected to the palace's disappearance?
I'm sorry, what?
It's a long shot. It's fun. Besides, when I do throw out a long shot, somebody reacts the way that you do, it tells me maybe it wasn't so long. This is fun. I'll get you to Salmon. Don't worry, you don't have to say anything yet.
The palace's disappearance. Palace is gone.
Oh, of course.
For how long?
I guess the news doesn't get out of this area. That makes sense. That tracks. I don't know, a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks. How far away from where the palace used to be? To Ceremon.
Well, 2 hours if you're trying to stay unnoticed.
Okay. It is all the same to you. I'd like to head out.
Yeah, of course. So she takes you, and you notice that she does draw the attention of those around her, but she commands some sort of respect because she's able to wave off the attention that she's getting rather quickly, even by those who are here on, government orders, trying to keep things under wraps. There's something about her that allows freedom of movement. She takes you out of the Grung colony, winds you through the jungle, and brings you towards where the palace would have been. Past it, and down towards the royal meeting area. Now, if you are uncomfortable going towards where more of the upper echelon will be, I can go get Salmon and have him meet you out here. Listen, this is going to be fun for me no matter what. Clearly, you either have a connection to him, or you don't realize that it's really dangerous to talk to him if you don't know him. Either way, it's going to be fun.
And how do you know him?
I work with the clinic. I practically run it now. It's pretty easy. You follow in someone's footsteps who does so much. And just look after the legacy. And I'm glad that at least the princess left a lasting impact, even if something is happening and the Kraken doesn't respond. But none of that right now. Hopefully she's fine.
It's funny, I didn't think that Ceremon paid that much attention to detail. Yeah, so I think that would be a good idea. You want to go fetch him? You can tell him to meet me at, and then I, gesture at like just some random shack or like restaurant or anything that's not like super public, but maybe like an empty shack of some sort.
Yeah, where you point out would be perfect. You know, it's you came in on a good day. It's all around Abyssalia. The clinic is putting on these things for the princess. So it makes sense that I'll be talking to him today. Came a day later, maybe a day earlier. You wouldn't have such easy access to him, but I'm excited to see what happens. If he doesn't let me come to the conversation, you just meet me right over there. She points to a secluded-ish clearing behind some boulders and trees. And I'll be waiting to see what he says.
Thank you for...
But remember, I'm doing this for you. So maybe you do something for me after? Think about it.
Yeah, of course. Been intimidating to say the least, and I'm still not quite sure if we're friend or foe, but regardless, I'm thankful.
Of course. And don't worry about it. And she pats your head and skips off the distance.
All right.
In this intermediary time, while you are having to face the realization that you are about to see your father, what thoughts are taking front order? You know, like, of all the anxious thoughts that you've had, what feels the most real now?
The anticipation of how Sarma is going to react to seeing him just by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He has practiced a speech in his head for weeks upon weeks of traveling here. But not only is his kin coming home, but it's just me. And last time it was just me, things didn't turn out too well. Am I going to meet Sermont? Or am I going to meet my father? I don't know.
As you're thinking about that and, you know, trying to recall how many times you actually got to meet your father, as he should be towards you, he steps in the room. And this is a more secluded area, but it's definitely not perfectly protected. So as he walks in, there's no acknowledgement, no words shared as he briskly walks towards you. It's only once he gets to within a distance that he can keep a hushed voice. Thanks, Kiana. What did you do?
I want you to say it.
Say what? The palace is gone, and I know that it's connected to you. There's something that you did or didn't do. I don't know what it is yet. But you come in here and you demand things of me?
You don't
say
think,
what?
You don't think Kiana did it. Who do you think did it? Say what you mean.
You are Kiana. Okay? I want you to get that clear. I have one child. What did you do wrong?
What did I do wrong?
Why are you here alone?
It's always, what did I do wrong? It's never, hey, thanks for trying, or, thank you for putting up with this scheme for all these, all this time. It's never any of that. It's always, what did you do wrong? I didn't do a damn thing wrong. The person you're trying to blame is Laika. Not Kiana. Laika. And honestly, you shouldn't even blame her.
You know what? I'll hear you out. I'll let you dig your hole. Okay? But before you do, I want you to know that if you ever did something right, I wouldn't have to ask you what you did wrong. You're here without Laika. You're here without Loric. You're here without any of the envoy that you're supposed to be attached to the hip to. And the palace is gone. So tell me, Kiana, how is this Laika's fault?
And he gives like a super brief rundown of listen, we were following the envoy just like Governor had told us to. Eventually we came into a situation where crime in Varanth was going unchecked, so much as one of our members, you known him, Bart, his fathers were captured and imprisoned in hell. We sent out for him. We stuck together. We got a guide who's been through the layers himself, who played it smart. But hell's hell, and I had my own experience, and hell does not follow our desires, or no, not your desires. I had my experience, and Laika had hers. And when push came to shove, Laika let her emotions get the best of her. And she sold or bet the palace and a lot of her belongings and riches, and even necklace. Surprise, that's why I'm here. I'm here to, which I've been dreading it, here to hopefully get another one so that we could protect your little cover-up and keep this facade going. You know what? No. Talking about how if I did anything right, then you would be asking, okay, what you did was wrong. If you don't see me as your own, if you say you only have one child, why didn't you fucking kill me? Why didn't you send me off on someone's doorstep, hopes that I would survive? Why? You think that was right? And then you go around and act like I'm the problem. we've been through literal hell and back. And ever since we went on this envoy, I have learned so much. Not about the other countries, not about the world of Arenica, but about me. For the first time in my existence, I heard the Kraken's voice. And it wasn't from your lectures. It wasn't from trying as hard as I can to follow in the footsteps of Laika. I tried day in and day out. He never responded to me. And you blame me for that. But at my lowest point, he finally came to me. And it was nothing that you had to do with it. So I'm sorry that I'm such a disappointment, that I'm such an inconvenience. And honestly, now that I'm saying these things out loud, which was not what I hoped would be what was said, although it's probably what I should have expected, I don't know if I want a necklace back. I don't know if I want the world to know or to continue this little cover-up story that we're doing. Maybe the right thing is exposing your wrongdoings.
I sat back, just watching you dig that hole. And not just now, not just in this conversation. Your whole life, you've been digging that hole. It was dug for you. Before you had a chance to add any depth to it. You wanna know why I didn't kill you? Because your mother didn't agree with the one-child policy. The longer you're around, the more you fail to do the only thing that you could have possibly done, which is help Laika. The more I realize that I was right. The one-child policy deserves to be around. You're gonna sit here and threaten my family, my royal lineage, with the secret of your existence that was a gift to you? That I gave you. You're gonna threaten me with that? Come on, are you digging that hole, or are you serious? Tell me.
And what if I am? If exposing,
I don't know,
if exposing your lies and the decisions that you chose to make. I mean, when Mom died, you could have easily killed me. I know I loved her, but damn it, we loved her too. You could have easily gotten rid of me some way, one way or the other, but you didn't. So if I announce what you did and I die for that, I will gladly die hoping there's the slightest chance that you'll get what you deserve.
I've been watching you dig that hole your whole life. That grave. I think you finally dug deep enough. And he gets really close to you. So close you can feel his breath.
Like turns his face to the.
And you feel him grab around your neck as hard as he can and begin to squeeze. What are you doing?
How I wish flicking tape recorders were a thing in this world right now. I look at him, and with a gasping, whatever breath I have left in my lungs, gasping, and I say, Kiana is dead. And I fling my tongue, hit him in the eye.
Whew. Okay, go ahead. Roll I'm gonna say you've caught him off guard. You're so close quarters. You're gonna hit.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll me some damage.
What did we say the tongue was, Joe? I don't think much, but I'm just looking to get away, so.
It's 1d4.
Yeah, it's not. I say it's not much. But I'm looking just to basically get him to go and then just slip out of there if I can. That's 2 damage in the eye.
Okay. You hit him in the eye. And it closes, it winces up. Waters. But you're looking into the other one, and there is madness and murder and years of discontentment building up, twitching around the muscles. They're unable to control themselves. And there's almost a discernible twinge of joy and excitement. And those hands, they get tighter. And he stands up taller. And he pushes you out as far as he can. And you begin to struggle. You were sitting at a table. And your hip catches the side of the table. He begins to push you down as you're leaning over it. The table's wobbling but not quite giving. What's your next reaction?
As I am just kind of like, you know, like and my vision's starting to go back. I did not want to do this. I'm not saying this. This is what he's thinking.
Mm.
But I think to myself, this is not a classic tale of fathers and sons fighting to the death. This is not my father.
Mm.
I don't have a father. Never did.
Mm.
And I whisper out loud, Kraken, you can hear me, guide me. And I take that souvenir Kraken tooth and I try to stab him in the gut or the side, or not looking to kill, just
Not looking. Okay, let me see, hold up. I gotta look up something real quick.
I'm actually weeping, by the way. This is really special to me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me 2d8 and a d4.
Uh, 2d8s equal 9. The d4 is a 1, so 10.
Okay.
If you're counting them all together.
So, as the realization that you've never really had a father floods you, at the same time, you're making this move for your life by stabbing the man who has his grip around your neck, but also a hold on the nation that you're from, and hold on your sister. And you're just hoping that the Kraken not only takes a side, but chooses you. When so long, so many times in your life, you refused. As you make this stab, you feel it enter Zermit's flesh. There's a slight wince. The eyes grow more murderous. But he doesn't let go at first. That is until you notice that your hand is getting flooded with water. And Zermit's eyes begin to panic. His hands, they grasp the table. And water's pouring out of his side. He falls over. And whenever he looks towards you, you can tell he's got nothing to say to you. He is here writhing alone. As this wound in his side begins to go from letting out water to a stream to a flood, the floor beneath you is getting wet. But that Kraken tooth is still in. And you feel deep down inside, something tells you you should leave.
Is he... So he's on the ground, just kind of like staggered much, or is he just kind of...
He is on his side, grasping at his other side that has this Kraken tooth in it, as water is bursting forth. There's anger and contempt in his eyes whenever they meet you, and just utter confusion whenever he's rolling about looking at the roof of the shack that you're in.
I'm going to pick up like a chair or something and do a non-lethal attack in an attempt to knock him out.
Okay. So you ignore this feeling that's inside of you that says leave. As you pick up the chair, it grows stronger. As you raise it up over your head, it becomes undeniable. And you go to slam this chair down on Cermet. But before you can bring it down, there's a flash of white. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Dang. Yeah, flicky up in here. Oh, Dex. Not good at that. Let me see.
Jesse, your dex should be a normal 10 now because you're not stacked. Edit this out, Jesse.
Oh,
Oh, that's true.
Edit this out.
So 10 is plus 0, right?
yeah, +0.
That is an 18.
And I'll tell you, I was just about to tell you DC 18. Okay. So congratulations. You are able to notice this flash of white that comes through. Just a split second before the energy that follows it burst open this little shack that you're in. And you jump as far as you can with your grung legs. They just send you back. You still take a lot of heat. A lot of bits and pieces of this shack flinging, flying, bursting at you. And by the time that you hit the ground, you're further than your feet could have carried you. Go ahead and take 40 damage.
Jesus.
That's halved. Because you succeeded your throw.
40 is halved?
40 is halved.
Dang. That would have freaking killed me. Okay, yeah. Dang. Okay.
Hugh, are you still with us?
Yes. Pretty banged up, but yes.
Okay. At this point, you are out in the open again. And this shack that you chose was relatively secluded. You're not really sure what the purpose of it was, whether it was an old storage shed abandoned, or if this is some sort of, outpost for those that graze. You're not sure.
Like the break room for guards or something like that.
Yeah. It's something that those who go out of the way use to take a rest for a small period of time. So you know instinctively that you'll have a couple minutes before anyone who's trying to investigate why this lightning suddenly struck. But you're banged up. You're hurting. You're definitely not able to go full speed, at least for the time being. What are your first actions as you look from the sky that you were looking at, being on your back, towards your surroundings?
So, from what I saw, basically a white flash and basically this shack exploded and like it sent me flying back. I immediately think that cheap bastard pulled one on me, and I was too blind to see anything that was going on, and I was like, kind of like slowly get up, grunting, groaning. Oh gosh, like you really just dust myself off. I'm assuming like my clothing is scorched. Trying to pat that off. How far away am I from Cerament? Or
You got launched about 20 feet.
okay. Can I see if he's like unconscious or if he's still where he was before that happened, or what is he doing?
Absolutely. You look over towards the spot that the lightning hit, and there's no Cerament. You're in an open enough area that unless you got knocked out for a period of time there, which you're almost certain that you didn't, there's no way he could have made an escape. So either there's some trickery going on, or he doesn't exist anymore. And you're not quite sure which.
I think with that, the uncertainty is in a sense of not relief, but this will have to do for now. And turns around and he quickly tries to scurry his way to that little outpost area that Liana had mentioned.
Perfect. So as you are shuffling your way over, feeling the pain of the launch, and the adrenaline is wearing off, so you're beginning to feel more and more of the different areas on your body that have gotten battered. You feel a feeling again inside you. And this time it's a need for prayer. Whether you choose to heed that feeling or ignore it is completely up to you.
So I'm on my way to this place and I feel this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't want to do anything. I'm hearing the Kraken now, and I don't want to do anything to screw it up now. So if there is not a temple or anything like that nearby, I just go to basically any kind of secluded spot and underneath a tree or something, and yeah, I pray.
Perfect. So immediately as you assume the position of prayer, you find yourself in a trance. There's no waiting around for the Kraken, no need to prostrate yourself or show yourself worthy to get his attention. In fact, you're almost certain that he's called you. And you find yourself staring at a pair of red eyes.
I'm sorry. I know that was probably rash of me, and I was leading with emotions, and I wasn't. My intent. I wasn't trying to kill him. I was attempting to knock him out so I could maybe heal his wound and get out of there. But I understand that my carelessness shouldn't go unchecked, so whatever punishment you want to give, I accept.
Your words are met not with silence, but with intentional space. You can hear around you what sounds like the depths of the ocean. you can hear gentle clicking. And at first, it's unsettling. But after a few seconds of the silence, some comfort begins to wave over you. The sounds feel welcoming. The Kraken responds. He says, "My child, you do not need to explain yourself. I was watching. The only thing that I have to say is I'm sorry." What you went through today was difficult, but there was no need for punishment. We will discuss this again later, as I can tell there's unease in your heart. But for now, consider my servants, whom I've sent your way. By the time that you're done speaking with me, she'll be there to guide you. You feel abandoned, don't you?
I think Hugh just starts sobbing. Because I think genuinely this is the first time he's ever heard the words "I'm sorry." And it's like directed towards him, that is. And it's coming from his god.
You're sobbing.
Yeah.
And you can hear those clicks again. That sound of the ocean seems to welcome you. And a tentacle wraps its way from the darkness around you, just holds you gently, and leaves space for you to feel your feelings, say your piece.
I know we've talked about this before, but what did I deserve for such grace? I bluntly hated you so long. I felt like you're picking one over the other, just like my father. Yet you meet me with grace.
You are young, as many are. So I'll tell you a truth about the world you live in. There is not one of my followers who loves me now that did not hate me before they found themselves with me. There are those, like Sermon, who believe in their heart that they love me, who have crafted for themselves their own idea of what I am. They make their own god. They despise me without knowing. Hugh, you were just honest with yourself that you despised me where others were not. None of those who love me have perceived my grace. Who loved me before I gave it. I'm not hurt by your pain, by your questions, by your anger. You are growing. I am powerful and worthy, am I not?
Of course.
But do you think that your hatred could bring me down?
I'd be lying if
Hugh, I've
be lying if I said that in the past that's what I thought. That if I hated hard enough, I'd get something. But now that I'm saying that, it's not bringing you down, but it's bringing you closer to me.
You have chosen to reach out to you. To guide you. And whether or not in the end you choose to accept the grace I give, the aid that I'm offering, the guidance, it's up to you. You don't need to question whether or not you deserve what I give you. Because you don't. None of my followers do. And if you, like Thermit, ever begin to think that you are owed my grace because of something that you do, something that you are, then you're beginning to make God that I am not. So just accept what I give you. Because what I give freely. I have faith in you, Hugh. You are stronger than you should be at your age. And you've gone through more than many of my servants have. Do not think yourself entitled to anything I give you, but remind yourself that you are worthy of the life that you have. Remember that I'm sending you my servant, and that she will guide you. I will be here, watching over you, waiting to speak to you next.
It's a conversation I look forward to. Thank you.
Do I? And with that, the tentacle uncurls around you. The sounds of the sea begin to fade. The darkness that was utter and expansive somehow begins to stretch as you are pulled back into your body. There's pain all around, and your head feels like it's throbbing and moving back and forth. And as you come back to reality, you realize that you are being shaken by tattooed hands. Was that you? Was that Ceremon? That big explosion.
Yeah, it was him. Say he didn't like what I had to say.
Holy hells, were you an assassin?
No, far from it, actually. And I'd like to imagine that Hugh has like across his face like a scar from like the lightning strike, like almost like a burnt like crackling scar on his like just across his face. No, not an assassin. Can we get some rest? I'm not doing too. I'm not. I'm going in and out of consciousness. It feels like I'm not.
Yeah, she's holding you. She got down on her knees as you were on your knees in your position, and she's got her arms wrapped around your shoulders, kind of keeping you upright. I can notice that you're not doing very well. I'll do what I can here and now, and then we can get you to some rest. And she prays over you, has some magic, and heals you for 32 points. But that gash across your face, she looks at it really intently, and you could feel its presence. It's that sod seemed to heal up, but it's leaving a mark.
Well, that's gonna change things a little bit.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're stuck with me now, okay? Whatever this is, whatever you are, why ever you're here, I'm interested, okay? The clinic's in good hands, but however far you'll let me go with you, whether that's to the edge of Abyssalia, because I'm assuming you're going to want to leave now, or beyond, however far you'll take me, I'm fascinated.
You said you wanted to see what's out there, right?
For the love of the Kraken, yes. Spread the name. Oh, it's exciting. But why ask that now?
Where would you go first?
Anywhere there's people that need help, which I'm told is probably everywhere. You know, I've been trying to put together a paper trail of the princess's whereabouts. Have bits and pieces of news that come in from outside of Abyssalia that aren't being spun.
Well, I can save
just
you.
To figure out.
I can save you the trouble. I know where she's at.
Well, you are fascinating. Where is she?
Last I had spoken with her, she is in Emberholm and Varanth. Just had escaped hell, which is why you guys probably haven't heard from her in a while. And I would know because I am also Princess Kiana.
Hold on. I'm sorry, you look like there's a lot of trauma surrounding that fact, and I'm so sorry to be this excited about it. But that is insane. Okay, I will curb my excitement because you seem very hurt, and I want to be respectful.
No, I mean, your questions are valid, but you said that you want to go where people need help the most.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of work that needs done here. And I'll gladly take the helping hand.
I'd love to land it. You know, that scar looks quite good on you. It's strange the way it kind of accentuates the cheekbones and whatnot.
Well, it's no tattoos, but I guess it'll add some kind of distinguishment from my sister.
Wait, so how... Is that why the princess was so tall? Were you just...
Yeah, pretty much. Wasn't genetics. And he kind of like gives a brief rundown of like everything, basically. Like if he takes it as this is the sign, this is the one the Kraken had sent, and if I'm gonna fully trust the Kraken, then I need them to fully trust me. And he just kind of gives a brief overview of everything.
So as you do that, she's been leading you down into civilized areas, which at first you question very slightly, but she makes a good point that when something crazy, like lightning from the sky and Ceremit's disappearance happens, you don't want to be caught running. So she brings you in so that way you can rest into one of the clinics that she helps run. And as you go to enter, you notice above the doorway, it's a tall doorway, about 9 feet or so. Somebody graffitied the entrance, and there's a bull's head with 3 horns, one in the center, and underneath it is a broken necklace. And as you see that symbol that's very large and in charge, you realize that you may have seen smaller ones dotted on your way through, based off the colors and the general shape.
I think as they're walking, you know, it's like putting the pieces back together in his head, like, and he like turns to was it
Liana?
Liana? Yeah. Hey, I obviously told you, but like, you clearly knew about Loric and the Minotaur who Cermet had sent with Kiana. Has he made any other appearances recently, or?
Well, you know, from what I'm told about Loric, it's hard to know if it's him, someone else who's 7 foot tall, change appearance or somewhat. But maybe there was a tall thing that did that not too long ago. Could be, could not. Why? Why do you ask?
Well, he means a lot, and I'd like to know. Loric does a lot of things. He does a lot of interesting things, but normally there's a purpose behind them. And I would like to know what the purpose of this is. And he points at the mural.
I don't know. He's got a cow's head, right? That,
Right.
I don't know what the 3 horns are for, but or the necklace. Do you know where he's? Well, I'm guessing if you're asking where he was, you don't know where he's at.
Yeah, I mean, last I talked to him was in Varanth. But that was weeks ago. Months even, maybe. I don't know, time's been not on my side.
Sounds like you took a slow ship.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a lot. Definitely been on faster.
Well, it's definitely possible. I don't know. Like I had ties to Cermet, but wasn't close to him in any fashion. And outside of the government dealing with our clinic, they don't tell us much about what else they're doing. So if he were here and the government didn't want us to know about it, I don't think we would. So I'm sorry that I can't give you any more information, but
Okay. And I think he sends like a brief, quick prayer to the Kraken to, if it's in the realm of possibility for the Kraken, to let Loric know that I'm okay.
Okay.
And I hope you are too. Like,
well, you don't get a direct response, but immediately after you finish your prayer, you feel a sense of calm about the matter.
well, Loric can handle his own. He's proven that multiple times. Okay. And he continues to go wherever she follows or she leads.
That would be into the clinic to rest. Is there anything that you're wanting to do once you're in the clinic? Any more questions that you have for Liana? Anything that you want to do while you're in the city before you make your most likely hasty escape as soon as possible?
I think he has a few other like just small talk, casual conversations with Liana. So you mentioned you've been kind of handed down this clinic and all of these things, but what's your, and you're wanting to explore and all that kind of stuff, but what's your story? Where do you, how did you end up Liana, who you are?
Okay. Well, if you're taking me along for the ride, we'll get into the deep specifics, as we continue going. But for the brief overview of how I got here and what made me what I am. I'm 5. I grew up in the Grung colony in the jungle, the one that you were prancing about in, and life was hard, to say the least. I had to see a lot of friends who were going without. They didn't make it to 1. Even more, they didn't make it to 2. So I always knew that I wanted to make some change. And the way that started was, don't tell anybody this, but I was still a little bit connected to some of the more wholesome underworldly dealings that go on in Abyssalia. Those that are looking out for the community and just want to make some real local change when the government won't allow it or won't aid it. And when I saw the clinics open up from, yes, you and your sister, I joined up immediately, and being one of the first employees and the most avid helper, I quickly rose the ranks. So by the time that you all left for the envoy, somebody needed to be picked. We went through a couple of heads, tried out a couple different people, and when it was my chance to show what I could do, it was my love for the people, not only from my Grung colony, but for all of Abyssalia and even beyond, that I think really made me the right fit for the job. And I was just following after the example that you all were setting. Something so different from Cerement and the rest of the government, just care. And now there's more that care that I can feel safe handing it off to. But that's the quick version.
And I think he grabs her hand and he's just, it's fascinating.
Oh, you are fascinating, aren't you? You can tell she's allowing you to keep that hand.
I think we just kind of sit in that moment and maybe talk about a few other things here and there, but as the other smaller conversations come to Assis, hand still on hers. Kiana, I need to. There does need to be change.
Of course, it's obvious.
And I'm not sure how you feel about it or how you're going to react, how you react or your personal stance, but the one-child policy needs to stop.
Of course. Especially seeing all those devastated parents who had all their hope and dreams just taken away from them. And seeing you, the beacon of what could be. I'm sure you'll do great things and enough to sway the heart of the nation and of others.
I'll need help.
Are you asking for mine?
I think I'd be a fool not to.
Will you have it gladly?
And I think he goes in for a hug at this point.
How hesitant, how timid is this hug?
It's
Is this a confident hug?
like a hesitant at first because it's a whole new range of emotions and feelings that Hugh has never really felt before. But the minute he realizes and sees the kind of grung that Liana is, he kind of like, I was gonna say like moves hair out of her face, but the grungs don't have hair. So
Moves moisture from one side of her face to another.
the sweat from her brow, like kind of just like caresses like her head a little bit, and then just kind of goes in for a probably confident, passionate hug.
So she allows you to feel out the vibes at first and build that confidence. And she doesn't break the hug. She lets you, take your lead there. But when you do break, she pulls her body away, but leaves her long arms around you. She takes one. She caresses your cheek, traces your scar. She gives you a little slap on the cheek. She says, "Play your cards right." And she leaves you in your cot that you're in to rest, to appear as if you are just another member of Abyssalia that needs the clinic's help. One last facade before you get to start a life of freedom and change. And you can feel that release. That after this night of sleep, this bit of rest, where you're pretending to be just a member of Abyssalia, that you'll get a chance to be Hugh. How are you feeling?
I think Hugh sits on this like little bed, just like in the clinic, puts his hands, leans back. Fascinating indeed. He goes off to sleep.
That's so cute of you. I love that. Do you feel like that is a satisfying end to this session? Or is there anything left out that you want to explore before we wrap up?
I think that I'm at peace with that. That was gut-wrenching.
Cool. I'm glad you had a good time. Hi, Joe.
Hey!
I'm gonna freak out. Okay, first, let me. Oh my god! Let me do the outro and ad first, and then you could have a bathroom break for this session if you wanted to, because I have a lot to say. But
Okay.
oh god, what should this session be sponsored by?
I don't know, but you should mention that it was filmed in front of a live studio audience. We don't have that very often.
Yeah.
The clinics of Abyssal.
No, what should it be sponsored by?
The clinics,
You
maybe?
didn't use a lot of the princess.
Could be tattoos. The clinic.
Yeah, the Princess's Heart Clinic, or what was it
The
called?
Kraken Tooth of the...
Oh, good.
Yeah, Hux's
Hux's Kraken
merchant stand.
Merchant stand.
Okay. Hux's tourist trap. Okay.
Burning up this thing.
Hey, take your time, man.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This session was actually sponsored by Hux's tourist trap on the beaches of Seraphora. Are you planning on going on a little standoff duel with your father? Worried that you might need just a little something to stab him with, but something that you can get through security with? Are you looking for something that could help you connect with God? I don't know. We have sort of a one-stop shop for that. If that's your reality right now, just swing by Hux's tourist trap and get a Kraken tooth. I didn't know that squid had teeth, but that is it, and it's on a necklace. And you can buy it, and it will be free if you make Hux feel bad enough for you. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. I'm weeping. And we'll see you in the next time. And when oh my god, when everyone's back. Bye guys.